I'm the odds coach. An important step for becoming a successful sports bettor is line shopping. Line shopping is simply the process of comparing odds between various sportsbooks to try and find the best odd for the bet that you're looking to place. Now, it can have significant impact on your profit margin and can help you become a more successful sports bettor long term by reducing your overall risk and once again putting more money in your pocket. Now, we've seen examples of this when I speak about reduced juice sports books. So if you're a spread bettor, you're used to getting minus 110 odds. You can find sports books that'll offer you minus 105 odds, and that's a significant advantage just by knocking a few points off of the odds. Let's start out with that as an example. $100 bet at a minus 110 spread betting shop is going to win you $90.91. A pretty fair profit. But if you were to have placed that wager at a minus 105 sportsbook, your winnings are going to be $95.24. Now that's a $4.33 difference, or a 4.76% more profit, more money in your pocket, and that's simply by knocking those 5 points off. Now, say you're looking to place a money line bet, you can shop around and find added value on top of the reduced juice that you generally find, and increase that profit margin, increase that percent, and increase the money in your pocket for bets that you win. As an example, I'm going to take you to the desktop and show you, I handicapped all the MLB games on the slate yesterday, line shopped them all. And I'm going to show you what would have happened if you had correctly line shopped versus simply dealing with a reduced juice sportsbook. And it'll show that we can add significant value by shopping those lines around. Here's a line shopping example of every game played in the MLB yesterday. So I took every game in the rotation and I entered the positive and negative odds for each game that were available at Pinnacle. Now, I chose Pinnacle because it's generally the best odds available for the majority of games. It is a reduced juice sportsbook. Then I copied it over and I looked at the odds available at Bet365 and entered those where they were different, represented by the green here. So I can see that here I have 3 advantages at Bet365 over specific odds. Then I added in 5 Dimes, a lot more here because 5 Dimes is another reduced juice sports book. You can see some advantages over Pinnacle here, changing the odds. Bet Online had some terrific odds, very curiously all negative odds that they were a little more advantageous at. And then MyBookie, finally, with the last odds, they only represented 2, but they still showed advantage. So what that means is, now if we go back and look at if you had bet and won every single game yesterday, the difference that you would have seen. So this chart here shows the odds that we originally started with for the winning team and the odds that we ended up with after we shopped our line around. So you can see some pretty significant differences there. 106 at Pinnacle versus 113 after we shopped it through all those sports books. Minus 140, minus 144, so 4 points there. Some little tiny differences, some where Pinnacle was clearly the best odd for that particular game. But across the board, we could find advantage there. Now, if you were to have bet $100 on every single game, you would have won $1,265 at Pinnacle. If you had bet $100 after line shopping at each of the respective sports books, you would have won $1,284. Now, that may not seem like much, but that's a 1.58% difference. And as we know, any single percentage point is definitely worth the effort in long-term sports betting. Let's sharpen up the results a little bit here. Let's just take the games where there was advantage over Pinnacle, or where we would have used the line shopped lines. At that point, those bets have paid off at a rate higher than 2.51%, better than just a single sports book. Now, what that means is that 2.51% is extra money in your pocket. But when we also compare it to the fact that most people deal with regular juice sports books, the minus 110 sports books of the world. So just by shopping around a low juice sports books, you're down by 4.76%. That means when you add this 2.51% advantage, you end up with a 7.27%. So close to well over a 7% advantage by line shopping. Now, if you've done any amount of sports betting, you know that 7% is certainly significant and definitely worth the effort applied here. Make sure to keep more money in your pocket. We know that from my video on implied probability that just scratching out a fraction of a percent advantage is well worth the effort. Now with line shopping, looking at a 7.27% increase in profit by properly shopping your line around, that's pretty significant and worthwhile of the investment in time. Now one final warning is, don't use odds aggregation sites or sites that provide odds from a number of different sources to compare and do your line shopping. Most of those sites include promotional lines from sportsbooks. These promotional lines are not necessarily the odds that you're going to find when you log into your account. Unfortunately, you are going to have to log into each and every one of your accounts to compare the odds that you're seeing, because the odds that may be available to you are not the same as the odds that may be available to me. That's just a fact of the game. Once again, 7.27% increase in profit, well worth the effort. Always shop your lines around.